Here on a Wednesday, Falcons Daily. I'm Craig Green, CG, your host, and I appreciate y'all joining us today. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. If you have not hit subscribe yet, please do so. And if you have hit subscribe, please share this platform with all your Falcons family out there, whether they're near, far, or all over the world. Shout out to Atlanta Falcons, Germany, by the way. Guys, let's chop it up here and talk about some things that are on the mind of yours truly, CG here. One of those was blocking. I saw a really good comment by Dustin Albers on yesterday's video, and he talked about Kyle Pitts' blocking not being up to par. He said his blocking isn't up to par with a starting tight end in the NFL. And I tend to agree with that assessment. But also, I want to ask all of you and talk about blocking and ask y'all, how important is it for the skill players to block? We already know it's the job of the offensive lineman to protect the quarterback, the running back, or whoever's carrying the football. But do you know how important it is for the wide receivers to be able to block, for the tight ends to be able to block, for the running backs to be able to block? When we had a fullback in Keith Smith, which I miss dearly because he would shorten some necks, as Dave Archer would say on the broadcast. I miss having the fullback in the building. Keith Smith, Ovi Muheli, those are some of our last couple fullbacks we had on the roster. And I miss those guys because they had value to them. Again, they were more like glorified offensive linemen. And they were eligible to catch passes, even though they barely did. But that is, again, one aspect of football that is very, very important. Because, again, when it comes to the plays breaking down and things that we see on the field, a negative play a lot of times can be a negative play because of a missed block or poor blocking technique or whatever it might be. I mean, go back and watch film on the Falcons. And, before any of you talk about play calling, look at the blocking, think about what happens pre-snap and all those other things. And again, remember, once the play clock hits 14, communication in that helmet is cut off. So it's all up to the players at that point. Nothing that Zach Robinson, Raheem Morris, or even Jeff Ulbrich can do to help you at that point. So blocking is super duper important if you are a skilled player. The Falcons alone, in and of themselves, had the best blocking. They had the best blocking grade for a team in the NFL last season. The Falcons were number one in PFF. Sorry, Pro Football Focus. They had a grade of well over in the 80s. Bijan Robinson, one of the best blocking running backs in football right now as well. And when it comes to Bijan, again, he is, just watch him on film. Watch Bijan Robinson on film and see how he just goes up there and just cleans up against some of these pass rushers. He's a very good run blocker. He's a very good pass blocker. He has a lot of value when it comes to that part of the game. He doesn't have to have the football to be effective, and that's something that we've seen again with Bijan over the last couple years, and he's gotten better at it. I mean, he's a much better run blocker than pass blocker, but again, we've seen him pick up blitzes time after time after time, and again, he shortens those necks. So, if the blocking is there this season, I'm telling you, just any play that's a bad play, like if watch a negative play and see what you think about the blocking, right? Does the other team get a good jump on the snap? Did somebody miss a block? What happened, right? And then go and watch one of our good plays. I challenge all of you to do that from last season. Watch a good play, watch a bad play, and then look at the blocking. Look at everyone's blocking, not just the five guys up front. Look also at Drake London. Look at Kyle Pitts. Look at Ray McLeod. Look at Bijan Robinson and see what they are doing as the play develops. Again, it's uber important to be able to block in this league because that's how all the big plays happen. I mean, you see Jahmyr Gibbs and Tyreek Hill and all these guys, they can outrun people, but guess what? somewhere in that play, somebody got the hell blocked out of them. Big topic today came from yesterday when Kirk Cousins and the Netflix show Quarterback released its final episode for the season. And on there, Kirk was talking about how things played out last season with the Falcons, and having to be put on the bench and whatnot. Kirk basically came out and it was kind of doing a hindsight is 2020 type of thing, talking about one of the things he said basically was he felt like he was misled by the Falcons, kind of misled anyway, in the period of free agency, because he said had he known that they were going to draft a quarterback, he probably would have stayed in Minnesota. But you never know what could have happened. I mean, hey, like it's hard to predict the injury that happened to Kirk Cousins that took him out, because in the beginning, Kirko was live. He was doing stuff. Kirko change. We're doing all of this, and they got the post up. The Falcons have the post up calling him the Florida man because he was destroying the Buccaneers in those first 2 games that we played against them. And we were looking good, 6-3, and then all of a sudden, week 10, go down to New Orleans, and he gets hurt again. It's something we talked about before. Did Kirk Cousins get injured and try to play through the injury? And he did. That's what happened. He got injured and he tried to play through it when he probably should have just sat down and taken a couple weeks off. But that's what happened. Again, and was Kirk being selfish by doing that? I mean, hell yes. I'm sorry. If you're about the team, then it doesn't matter who's playing. I mean, they all have egos. They all want to be on the field. I totally get it. There's incentives and contracts with snaps on the, how many snaps you play, percentage of snaps, what have you, yards, touchdowns, etc. I get it. One man can't win the Super Bowl by himself, but one man can easily help keep you away from it. And I think that that's part of what happened last season. I mean, all different things happened to the Falcons. I mean, yeah, Kirk started playing terribly, but a lot of that had to do with him being injured and on the field. And, I only give blame to Kirk for that, but I also have to look at Raheem Morris and say, what were you thinking in that moment? I think that's part of what he was talking about when it comes to identifying problems and fixing them quicker. That was a big-ass problem we had last year, was the fact that Kirk was out there playing hurt. Again, he went out there, he threw basically he had 1 touchdown, 8 interceptions or something like that over the next 4 games or something like that. We lost all of them. For me, I mean, Kirk was being extra selfish. He wasn't thinking about it. He was not thinking about the team whatsoever. He was thinking about himself and the glory and whatever. A man who's got all this guaranteed money, a man who is, he didn't win. He hasn't won a Super Bowl, but he's been a playoff quarterback, a upper echelon quarterback in this league. And he's hanging on by a thread because he doesn't want the rookie to take over for him. You know where he got that from? And I hate to even bring it up. He got it from a book written by Drew freaking Brees, okay, about wanting to hold on to your spot. And, he said it was a book by Drew Brees, and it was advice from Doug Flutie in the book about never letting the backup see the field. And the quote that Kirk had is very, very telling. This is what Kirk Cousins said on Quarterback on Netflix. Some of you probably watch it. I don't Netflix and chill. I don't have Netflix. I'm sorry. I'm one of the only people in America. But this is what Kirk had to say. Kirk said, if you sit down week 10 and take 2 or 3 weeks or more to let it heal, you may never get your job back. And that was something I was always aware of, that in this league, if you give someone the chance, if you want to be Wally Pipp and there's Lee Garrick behind you, that can happen. That is what Kirk Cousins had to say about sitting down and not taking one for the team. I mean, really, my opinion on that was that Kirk was absolutely being selfish as hell when it comes to that. I won't say he single-handedly sabotaged the season, but again, the next 4 games after that, 1 touchdown, 8 interceptions, and we went 1-3, and effectively we were, almost eliminated from the playoffs at that point. But Kirk was on the injury report for Week 11, was not on it after that, and he also said, had I had the information around free agency, it certainly would have affected my decision. He said, I had no reason to leave Minnesota with how much we loved it there if both teams were going to be drafted a quarterback high. So basically, again, he's kind of saying he would have stayed in Minnesota had he known that the Falcons were going to draft Penix. Even with the Vikings turning around and drafting J.J. McCarthy, he would have rather stayed in Minnesota anyway, knowing that his family liked it there and whatnot. So, again, Kirk, you're being selfish, bro. Like, you not only you and Raheem and I'm sorry, I got to look at Raheem, and I love Ra. You, Raheem, and I'll put it on the defense here, the back end of the season. You, Raheem, and the defense cost us a shot at the playoffs. You cost us the NFC South championship. Raheem by not identifying problems quicker. The defense by not stopping Washington and Carolina in weeks 17 and 18. And Kirk Cousins for ultimately putting himself above the team. Again, you know what? I can't, it's hard to forgive that, because as hard and as long as the Falcons have worked to try to get back to the playoffs, and to have Kirk Cousins say that, oh, well, I was injured, I didn't want to give up my spot. And on top of that, well, had I known they were going to draft Penix, I just would have stayed in Minnesota. Well, that's the NFL for you, my friend. There's no guarantees. The NFL stands for not for long. If you can't produce, if you can't get on the field, and if you have a poor attitude. And right now, Kirk Cousins was not doing either. He has a poor attitude because because again, he put himself above the team. He was not performing well, especially after his injury. And he's talking and being available. He was available, but not really, because again, he was playing injured. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox on this one. Kirk Cousins, shame on you. You cost the Falcons the NFC South title. Saw some video from earlier this week of Jalen Walker working out with former UGA teammate Nolan Smith. Two damn good dogs hanging out together, UGA bros, whatever. They're working out around the 4th of July. The NFL's social media put the video out of them doing drills together. What do you think? Is it good or bad for Jalen to work out with Nolan Smith, again, of the Philadelphia Eagles? Again, not a Falcon, more like a bird cousin, I guess you could say, because, Eagles, whatever. But what do you think? Is it good, bad? Are you indifferent to it? I mean, I'm kind of indifferent to it. A little bit, I kind of worry just watching Jalen sometimes, not because he's got this history of injuries, but again, I watched Braylon Trice last year, a non-contact injury, tear his ACL. So, and that was in game action. Not saying, it can happen to anybody at any time, and not saying I'd rather see it happen to Jalen, at Flowery Branch. Hopefully he has a long career and he plays healthy and he stays healthy. But, I'm indifferent to it, but again, just be careful. You know what I'm saying? And he's a pro now. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. He's got the work ethic. That's what got him to Atlanta in the first place. And you're seeing it now with him working out with Nolan Smith, reaching out to someone who he's familiar with, someone who came up in the same program as him. And they're getting it in together. They're getting reps in before training camp. So I love it. Jalen's got a report here literally 2 weeks from today, along with James Pierce and the other rookies, with the veterans coming in on Thursday the 24th. So I like it, kind of love it a little bit, but I mostly like it. So let me know what y'all think about that in the comments, and continue to rise up and sound off in those comments. Please give me your best. I want to see hot takes, cold takes, anything ridiculous. Let's talk about it. Do you think Patrick Mahomes could get traded to Atlanta? You want to talk about it? We'll talk about it. You think, who's your Mount Rushmore of Atlanta Falcons football? Give me that. For example, give me your bold prediction for the season. Stats, yards, wins, a game, 2 games, 5 games, whatever. Whatever is on your Falcon mind, put it in the Falcon comments, please and thank you. And while you're doing that, give me a follow as well. Craig G Sports, CRAIG, the letter G and the word sports. You can give me a follow there, Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, whatever. I'm all there. Also, Fanarchco in the top left corner here, FANARCHCO. Please give them a follow on social media as well. And we will be back on Thursday, the day before Falcons Friday, to chop it up again. So y'all have a fantastic hump day, and put your camel emojis in the in your text to all your friends. And then after you tell them that, tell them you said sayonara and buenos noches.